Hello, Art2, we're back. Okay, so now that we have our linoleum prints done, we're going to start on the screen print, which is our foreground print, okay? So you're going to need the piece of silk screen that's in your packet or that you got here in class, and then you're going to need an embroidery hoop. Sorry you can't see this whole thing, but you actually can loosen this bit up here, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Remember we learned that already. You can loosen it a little bit and take this apart. You're also eventually going to need a picture of what animal you chose for your foreground. This is the national animal of Nigeria, the endangered black crowned crane, Blaerica pavonina. I don't know if that's right. But I learned that the government has not invested enough resources to protect this bird, and it's their national bird. So there's a fun fact that you didn't know before, probably. Also, I realized I didn't print this right, and I cut off the beak and maybe the legs. So I do have a reference photo here as well, because I didn't like the size of this one. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, and then I was having issues with the printer, and this is what we're doing now. So what you're going to do is start with your two pieces of embroidery hoop. You're going to take the piece that's just a pure circle, right? There's nothing on there. And then you're going to lay your silk screen on top of it so that it's in the middle, right? That it's hanging over all the sides of this hoop. And then you're going to take the other edge of the embroidery hoop and just kind of lock it over the top there. And this will stretch your screen a little bit, probably. But we're going to stretch it some more too. So why will this not go here? I am caught on something. There it goes. So then once you have it in, you're just going to take the edges and stretch them all so everything is nice and taut. And when you're done with that, you're going to tighten this as much as you can too. Okay? There might be only a certain limit on what you can do. But this is all, I mean, this works pretty good for silk screening in a pinch, right? As long as you're making sure that everything's nice and tight there. Then, here's the big trick. So we're actually going to print on like the inside of the hoop. You can see there's a lip here, and then it's flat here. So when I put this down, when it's this way, the screen is on top of the table. They're like right next to each other, right? So that's what you want to do. You don't want to draw it this way, because if you printed this way, you wouldn't actually be able to hit the paper. So you're going to take, once you have the silk screen nice and tight on your embroidery hoop, you're going to put it so that the screen is down on the surface. You have this ledge here. And you're going to take a Sharpie marker, because again, you can't get fine details, and I find if you just draw with a Sharpie marker, you know what you're getting into. With silk screening, I would like you to color in with your marker how you want your print to look, okay? So I want, wherever I color black with this Sharpie marker is going to be the black of the ink as well. So hopefully that helps you as you're tracing. Okay, and then when you're done, you know, just look at your piece, because obviously it's just going to be the color of ink and then the color of your paper. So the color of my ink is going to be where the black is, and then the color of the paper will be where you can see through everything. So I'm happy with this, and this is step one. And then the next step is to paint the background with screen filler. Okay, so I have my screen filler. You guys got this in a little clear cup with a lid. It's red and kind of painterly looking. Kind of looks like paint. If it's not quite mixed up, you should do that first. Okay, so I have my screen filler, and I have a couple of paintbrushes. I have one little one for details. and a bigger one. So screen filler fills the screen. So this is going to stop all of the areas that you don't want ink to go through. So I need to stop out my whole background, and then anywhere that it's white. Oh yeah, sorry, trick one. Flip it over now so that it's not on your desk anymore, right? Now we're working on the back side of it. This way you can paint it and you don't need to put something down to protect your work surface. So this screen filler is the only thing in the department so far that has stained my clothes, and I'm unable to get it out. So I would be cautious while you're using it. And all we're doing is taking a paintbrush, and like I said, you're filling in all the areas around where you want your ink to actually go through. So here's another trick. I can use duct tape and fill up a bunch of this background too, so I don't need to get too crazy with the background, but especially the details inside, that's where we want to paint. And you're probably going to have to do 2 or 3 coats and let it dry in between. So like I said, you're working on the back side of it now. We won't print this way, so this is the opposite that it will look. And then you're just using a paintbrush and carefully painting anywhere where there's clear screen. Okay, students, so that's the first coat. Like I said, you'll probably have to do 2 or 3. What we do in the classroom is you hold it up to the light, and any place where you can see like little pinpricks of light through it needs probably a 3rd coat. I mean, I would do at least 2 coats before you start checking for that. You can see even with my first coat, like you want it to be that dark maroon red everywhere where it's kind of that pinky color is going to for sure have to be covered over. So that's all for this step. I will be back for the last step of how to pull a print with the silk screen. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in class.